All right, good morning, students. It is 9 o'clock and we are going to get started. I would like to welcome you to Dallas ISD's Celebrating Blackness webinar series. Today, we have two great panelists who are going to speak to you. But before we do that, I just wanted to tell you why we are having this webinar series. Dallas ISD's Racial Equity Office, we work to create opportunities so that we have equitable academic outcomes for all students. One of the pillars of our work that help us create those equitable academic outcomes is having community partnerships, internal community partnerships, which are within the district, like you guys who are watching right now, and making partners who are external, which are out of the district. And so we have two panelists today who are out of the district, and they're going to speak to you guys about Juneteenth, barbecue, and Black culture. And so we're excited to have them. I have a fun video to show you to introduce them. But first I'll tell you, my name is Sarah and I work for Dallas ISD's Racial Equity Office. And here are our panelists, an exciting video you guys are gonna love. Make sure that your sound is working.
Smokey John founded the business in 1976.
Since taking over, we've tried to keep our father's legacy going by elevating the business to new heights.
From being two-time Big Tech's Choice Award winners
To winning shows on Food Network and the Cooking Channel. We know food. We cook good.
and we eat good.
I'm Brent Reaves.
And I'm Juan Reaves
And this is our restaurant, Smokey John's Barbecue.
in Dallas, Texas. Come join us for good meats
Good sides
and good vibes. We're second generation.
That was so exciting. I loved it. So welcome to Brent and Juan Reaves. We're so glad to have you today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, so I said Brent and Juan, but actually on our screens, it's Juan and Brent. Yes, so welcome to both of you. Yeah. So would you like to tell us just a little bit more about how your business was started, where you guys come from?
Well, first, I'm Juan, and this is my brother Brent. We are, as I said in the video, we're second generation business owners. So our dad is Smokey John, and we both grew up in this business. We grew up, our dad started in 1976. So Brent wasn't born yet.
Nope.
And I was about 6 years old, and watched our dad grow this business. And we've been a part of it at some level since we were children. And I started as a career in 1998.
Awesome. That's awesome. We can hear a little bit of the sound from the restaurant right now because you guys are at work right now.
We are actually in the restaurant getting ready. We open at 11 o'clock, so we're getting ready to serve lots of customers. And we actually, I don't think we're catering at DISD today, but we cater a lot.
Oh, we actually are.
Are we catering?
Yeah.
We are catering today, so we've got food prepared, getting prepared to go out today as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's the end of the school year. I'm sure there's lots of exciting catering events, graduation, fun things like that.
Teacher appreciations, all sorts of stuff.
Yes. Yes. All right. So I asked you guys about this earlier. You have something really fun behind you. It looks a little bit like a Grammy or an Oscar, and then a little bit like a Barbie doll mixed together. A cowboy Barbie. Could you tell us about this?
So this is the
One of ours.
One of our
We have
winners,
three.
Big Texas
Oh.
State Fair, Texas. Probably, this is a good one from 2019.
Is that the taco cone?
Taco Cone.
So we won best tasting of the food competition. We won best tasting savory and best tasting sweet in 2019.
Right.
So this is for savory, which was our deep fried taco cone.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That sounds
Right.
really exciting.
Yeah.
It
So we
was
took
very
a
exciting.
tortilla and turned it into actually a ice cream cone shape and filled it with black beans, cilantro lime rice, barbacoa, pico de gallo, and a jalapeno queso.
And a little
sauce.
queso fresco on top.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That is so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, our students go to the state fair every year. We have a day that the elementary school kids go and middle and high school kids go, and they get a free ticket. So I'm sure a lot of the kids have seen you guys before.
Very possible, yes.
Very
Yeah.
I'm out there the whole 24 days, and Brent's out there. Brent's usually here at the restaurant, making sure we have all the food we need, making sure he was staying here late cooking barbacoa and helping make. We also had a thing called the deep, what was it? The big red chicken bread.
Big red chicken bread.
So
Wow.
it was like a big red donut, and it had a fried chicken wing. If you saw it had sunglasses on the chicken wing. So if anybody saw that, that was us.
Oh my goodness. That sounds like State Fair food.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you come up with those ideas?
Both
So
of us.
traditionally we brainstorm, and then I throw out a lot of crazy ideas, and then Brent's like our mad scientist to figure out how to make them happen.
Yeah.
Probably our biggest one that we did, we're most proud of, is our fried Jello. We did that a few years ago. But what we've done is, because we've been doing this so many years, we've actually assembled a team. So some of our team members that work here in the restaurant, we have a special committee that works on these ideas. So we extend the opportunity not just to be the two of us, but we tap into everybody's creative juices, and it's really I wish we videotaped it, because we're cheating ourselves, because it's a great experience to watch. Because we have one person who's like, well, I'm not creative, I don't have ideas, and then she sits down and she says something, and that sparks an idea for him, it sparks an idea for me, and the next thing you know, we've got what we think are some great ideas. So it's a collaborative process.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that, so you guys are obviously a family business because you're brothers, you work together, and your father was the first owner of the restaurant. So he is Smokey John's. But do you have any other family members working with you guys?
One of our cousins joined the team recently. Our sister is an attorney, so occasionally she'll advise us a little bit, but she doesn't actually work in the business.
Yes, she gives you free legal advice, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, we trade it for food, so that's good.
You feed her, and she makes sure that you follow all of the laws.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct.
That seems like a good deal. Yes, yeah, that sounds fun. That's awesome. Okay, so there's family there, there's your business there. Did you guys assume that you were always going to be a part of Smokey John's, or did you have any other plans? Like when your dad first started this, like Juan, you were a little child when he first started it. Did you think like, I'm going to do that when I grow up? My name's not John, but it's Juan.
Yes. I was definitely named after him in Spanish. Yes, I did think I was going to join this. Oh my God.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
So I did think I was going to join the business. It's just, I didn't join what I thought I was going to join. I thought our dad was very well known in the Metroplex. He was very outgoing, very outspoken, just a classic entrepreneur. And so I thought he was going to build our business into this big company. And then I'd go to college, and when I graduated, I'd join the company and work my way up to the top. And that's not exactly how it happened. It turns out that the plan was more that I went off and did another career for a little while, learned a lot of great things, came back, Brent graduated college, and we joined the business together. And it turns out in 2013, Brent and I officially took over and took ownership. And that big business that I thought I was going to join, we're building it now. We're doing it together. So I thought Dad was going to do all the work and we just get to coast, but
and you would just like slide in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Oh, okay. Yes. Instead, you're also working hard.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. That sounds like how most jobs are. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. And what about you, Brent?
So I did, earlier I started working at the restaurant when I was 6 years old. Dad would bring me to the restaurant just to hang out. And we had a video game. We had Pac-Man back then. And I would just waste all of his quarters on Pac-Man. And so if I'm fed up with that, he was like, look, grab a pitcher of water and a pitcher of iced tea. And when those glasses get low on the people's tables, just keep them full and just watch what happens. So the first people, the customers left, and like cash was on the table. So I grabbed, like, Dad, they left their money. He's like, no, that's yours. He said, if you keep doing it every day, you will never have to ask me for Pac-Man money. And And I was set from then on.
I love that. I love that. Pac-Man money. When I was growing up, they had those little toys that you could ride outside of Kmart.
Oh,
yeah. Quarter. Yeah. So we called them Kmart quarters. We worked for Kmart quarters. You worked for Pac-Man quarters.
That's right. That's
right. There you go. And that's why we all have jobs today.
And that's right. That's right.
Yes.
So we learned early on.
We could have as many quarters as we wanted.
Exactly. One of the things I will say that I appreciate about Dad is he never asked us to work for free, even though it was our own family business. He always, because he wanted us to learn that if you work, there is a reward. Yeah. And then you can judge what you want to do to get the reward that you want. So that was really important to him. And I appreciate that. And I do the same with my kids. They do. In fact, they're coming here later today to work. And they're going to help out because we've got a big order for Scottish Rite going out on Wednesday. We're doing almost 1,000 box lunches.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so we're it's all hands on deck. But, we don't just bring them in. We actually do pay them, and they get to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. I love that idea. I hope my kids aren't listening, though. So I don't have to do that. Yeah, but that's great that you guys do. Yeah. Okay, so what we wanted to talk to you guys about today is Juneteenth, which is coming up this weekend, and to just see like some of what you know about the history of this holiday and how it connects today to how we celebrate.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I'm happy that we have the chance to talk about it, and I'm happy that in the last couple of years it's become a bigger deal. Because honestly, growing up, it wasn't always a big deal. I think it was in some Black communities, but there's also even within the Black community there were people that were ashamed of it because you're celebrating finding out 2.5 years later what everybody else started to do. Right. And so it was kind of a conundrum. Do you celebrate this, or should you be angry that we waited so long to find out? And I think I think that the new interest in all of our cultures being respected and honored and put forth has created this sense of we shouldn't be, instead of being mad about it, be glad when you found out and celebrate that, hey, we're now included into this wonderful thing of freedom. So I think from that standpoint, it's really it's neat that it's reemerged as a holiday, and we're working with companies this week with Microsoft. They're doing a special Black Juneteenth celebration that we're going to be a part of.
Oh wow!
And this company Meredith, which owns like People Magazine and Sports Illustrated, all of their publishers are going to be on a webinar later this week that we're also going to do a cooking demonstration. So it's kind of neat that now, not just Black people in the South, but people across the country are recognizing this.
Yeah. And what's really cool is that just people of color, I think that it's been an opportunity to bring exposure to people of color. And I think people of color have united with some of these new things that have developed in the country, some challenges that have developed. I think people of color are now uniting like like we've never done before.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that like our office obviously like is really excited about and stands behind, because we have the idea that in the South, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and then that's something for the South, right? But it hasn't gotten to Texas yet, and it takes 2 years just for someone to come and actually tell them that this has happened, so that people are no longer enslaved in Texas. Right. And so now it's something that's exciting in Texas, but it's something that we should all be excited about. Like you said, that this was something that shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And we need to be happy that is over. And now we can move on together to make our country better.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's a really great. I love that companies are actually celebrating that with their staff. I think that's really meaningful.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Meredith Media, which is, like I said, they own most magazines we've heard of, Mademoiselle, all the big magazines. I'm pretty sure that they're giving a holiday time to to their team. So I think they're having, I don't know if it's Friday or Monday, but they're getting a day off to recognize the holiday, which I think is, so not only are they doing the event, they're also recognizing it as a holiday. And I think that's tremendous, because it's at some point people have to learn what was that. And so now it's a way to continue to educate future generations about what was going on in our history.
It's definitely creating a pride for the holiday at this point. And we learned more about Juneteenth through our business partner, who's 87 years old.
Yes.
And so she really began to explain to us how much excitement they had as when she was, 9 years old, and to see where the country has come from her time. It's really opened
huge.
our eyes to just the amount of opportunities that we have as Black people.
And I think for her, because being 87, she's seen the transformation. She's been through the civil rights era. She's been through all these different changes, and to see that something that was big in her neighborhood, family, in the country is now being recognized throughout the nation. That's very gratifying for her. So it's neat that we kind of have our own historian right in house.
Yes, that's so awesome, and that she has those stories that she can share.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But now you have your stories that you can share, and your children's experiences in the country will be different as well. And
Absolutely.
that's like the power of storytelling.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is a woman in Fort Worth named Opal Lee. Do y'all know about Opal Lee?
Yes.
Yeah, and she is trying to have the government recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday. And
Right.
so she walks 2.5 miles every Juneteenth to parallel the 2.5 years it took for the people of Texas to learn about the Emancipation Proclamation. So I know she's having a walk on Saturday. A lot of people are a part of that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's just really neat that people can come together and find a sense of purpose together in just recognizing the power of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I'm going to tell the students in about 3 minutes, we are going to open up for questions from you guys. The Q&A feature is open, so you can ask questions in there. We would like them to be school appropriate questions, and I will be able to ask the brothers Reaves those questions. So you have about 3 minutes for that. So gentlemen, I was going to ask you, what is the most exciting place that you've catered to, or like the most famous person you've catered to? Like, what was really exciting? Because I know the state fair is probably like the highlight of your year, but is there anything else like super cool that you've been able to be a part of?
Good morning, you tell me.
Okay.
So our dad was really good friends with the original owners of the Dallas Cowboys, the Murchison family. And so growing up, we catered everything for the Dallas Cowboys. So our dad's, one of our good friends is Drew Pearson, and he's going in the Hall of Fame in a couple months. And so we've done that. We actually catered for the Housewives of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
We catered their season finale of the first year episode of the at their, it was like a golf tournament. But I think the biggest, most famous person.
Well, we have one other one.
Okay.
The kids know this. The students will know. We did maybe a few years ago. J. Cole had an album release party. So we did this party, but probably the biggest one is.
I'll let you tell it.
So the biggest one is we catered for Michelle Obama, and
she's like for real famous.
Like,
Yeah.
real favorites. Yeah, like we had. I had no idea that her number one assistant was calling me to put an order in. And I didn't really know until I get to the airport, and I'm like, and I thought that they said the First Lady of the Air Force. So I go to the.
You thought it was just a high-ranking pilot.
Yeah, right. And so I'm telling them, I was like, hey, I'm supposed to deliver food for the First Lady of the Air Force. And they're like, oh yeah, you're at the wrong hangar. So I go to the hangar, And they're like, oh, come on in. And I kind of sit down and they're like, you want popcorn? You want soda? You want something to drink? I was like, no, just deliver the food. And so I sat down. I look out the window and I'm just going like, they're really being nice. This guy with an M16 is standing by me. And he's like, hey, you got any ribs in your pocket? I was like, no. And so I look out the window and there's this huge plane that says United States of America.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa. So I go back to the concierge. I was like, hey, man, who is this food for? He said, oh, you're catering for Michelle Obama. Yeah.
You're like, no, I don't think they told me that.
I had no idea. No idea. So it was remarkable. She was going to Emmett Smith's house and someone else. She was doing two parties. She brought food, so she wanted to bring something to each party she was going to.
Oh.
And she brought two separate meals of the same thing, large quantities to take to their houses of our food.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So she's a very good guest. She has lovely manners.
Oh,
That's right.
phenomenal woman.
Good man.
Okay, so students, feel free to invite Michelle Obama to your home. She will bring dinner. Yes. Good to know. I'm going to do that when we're done with the webinar. That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama. Don't you wish you had been there now, Juan?
I do.
You had gone together.
But I probably would have known who he was going to take the food
Yes,
to
he
that
would have
day.
known. He would have.
I would have figured that out.
You would have clued in faster.
It's like Forrest Gump. Like he's always running into someone famous
all
or
the time.
intermingling with someone. And our dad was that way too. Once our dad was at a good friend's party and he said he met some guy. He couldn't think of his name and he was like Armstrong. And I was like, you met Lance Armstrong? He goes, no, he's an older guy. Yeah, he goes, I think he's like a pilot or something. I'm like, you met Neil Armstrong? Like,
I was going to say the astronaut.
The astronaut, yeah.
The first man on the moon.
On the moon.
First man on
yes.
the moon.
And your dad was like, I don't remember. I think he flew planes.
Yeah, he was like, I a pilot or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, you met Neil Armstrong. And it turns out he met Neil Armstrong. So
that is so amazing.
We have a lot of those stories.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. I love that.
So we'll tell some of those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so fun. What a great legacy that you have and that you get to do it together.
Yep.
I think that that's really neat that your kids are going to be able to have like those combined stories. So, okay, so let me see. I have a lot of questions here.
Oh, wow.
Yes. We're going to find some good ones. Okay, so here's one. Do you know who your first customer was?
Oh, wow.
Well, since he wasn't alive,
No.
Yes.
I was
That's a great
probably
question.
5 or 6 years old. I don't know who our first customer was.
Interesting story, though. When Dad opened the restaurant, it was originally called Big John's Barbecue. But the first week he opened, he had such a big fire in the pit that
Oh my goodness.
everywhere. And one of the customers walks in. He goes, y'all need to change the name from Big John's to Smokey John's. So next week, Dad took the sign down and changed it to Smokey John's.
Yep. So yeah, he was on the corner of Inwood of Lemon and Mockingbird. And so it was a light intersection there, and this guy was at the light, and he turned into the parking lot and came in and saw the smoke billowing out, and the name has been changed. So that's our history there.
Yeah, he was like, my husband is like that. If he smells smoke, he's like, there's a barbecue place. I smell smoke and I'm like, maybe there's a fire. And he's like, I think it's barbecue. He goes straight to the food. Yes.
The thing is, you're both right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's so funny. I love that. Okay. This is an interesting question from Odette. Odette would like to know, how do you feel about where your business is right now and why?
Wow. Odette.
I know, that's a great question, isn't it?
So Odette, we've just to give you a little history, we've been in business since 1976. We had a fire in 2017 and we were shut down for 2017 until 2019. So from the end of 16 months we were shut down.
Oh, wow.
We opened back up to the best year ever. And keep in mind, 2017 was the best year ever. Then we had the fire, came back in 2019, best year ever. And then we had a pandemic.
Yes, we all know what happened in 2020.
So So
Yeah.
when you ask how we are, that's a great question. And I think we're both very excited about where we are.
Yeah.
We have been really, really blessed. You heard in the intro, we've been on these different TV shows. One of them is on Cooking Channel
right
and Discovery Plus right now, called Restaurant Recovery. We
Fun.
got our dining room remodeled by this awesome team, kind of like one of those extreme home makeovers. So that's been great. We've been getting to do lots of neat things like this. Business is going well. We're actually hiring right now, looking for people. So we're very, very fortunate, and we're very excited. And that's why. Yeah, the question was why. It's because we've been through some challenging times, but we've been able to ride the wave, and now things are looking up.
That's such a good lesson, that things that happens in all of our careers. Like there are peaks and valleys.
Absolutely. And
valleys.
Our dad taught us, if anything, he taught us a lot of things, but one of them is probably perseverance, and we just don't give up. We face challenges every day, and we encourage our team members, and we battle with their personal lives as well. They help them because they face challenges every day, and we come to work in a common bond, and we get through it together.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And that, I think when you have teams that are like that, it helps people, first of all, want to stay.
Absolutely.
When you have managers who create those types of teams, but also it helps you be able to have like that innovation. Like you were talking about with the state fair, like being able to come up with these ideas. If you trust your team, then you want to work with your team. You want your team to be better and more successful. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Yeah. Okay. So we have another question. Derek would like you to tell him more about your menu. Derek is hungry. This is not my husband. His name is not Derek, but Derek and my husband have a lot in common. Tell us about the food. Yes.
Okay. So we have, of course, the barbecue menu with the ribs and brisket and a lot of different options, turkey and sausage, all those options. But the cool thing about our restaurant is that we don't only have barbecue, we also have home cooking and soul food. So we also do fried catfish, we do big half-pound cheeseburgers.
Yep.
We do meatloaf and fried chicken. We have different specials
like
every day.
Today's specials are beef tips and rice and baked chicken. And then our sides are like greens and cabbage and yam. So we have kind of soul food, traditional, what you would consider soul food sides. So our menus, it's a little different from the average barbecue house because usually it's like baked beans, mac and cheese, coleslaw, or something like that. And these are like grandma's recipes that we're using.
Speaking of grandma's recipes, so we have our homemade banana pudding. We make from scratch. We actually sit over the stove for about an hour and a half.
That pudding.
Oh, yeah. And then we have our grandmother's peach cobbler recipe, which takes about 2 days to make the crust. So the crust is flaky with the sugar on top of it.
Yeah, so that gives you a little bit of idea.
Wow, that's awesome. And that he also, Derek is very focused. What's the most popular thing on your menu?
Oh,
like
wow.
in your regular menu at the restaurant, and then what about like at the state fair?
Oh, wow.
So, okay, the regular menu is probably the ribs and the brisket are the two most popular meats.
Right.
Mac and cheese is the most popular side. Peach cobbler is the most popular dessert. At the fair, turkey legs.
Turkey legs.
And then, that's true.
Deep fried Reese's.
We sell a lot of the deep fried Reese's and ice cream.
Those are probably our top two. Brent was on a TV show several years ago, and his winning item was a deep fried. It's called. He's actually. You guys, you should know. You're in the presence of a deep fried master.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Brett. Everybody look really hard right now so that when you see him in the store, you'll be like, I know that man. And he's famous.
He is.
That's intense.
So he won the show
wonderful.
Deep Fried Masters with the deep fried Reese's and cream.
So we took it to and now we sell about 20,000 of those in 24 days.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes,
that
it
is
is
crazy.
Yeah.
My kids would love that. Peanut butter.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah, this is the interesting thing. We actually make the deep fried Reese's. It's not like, you see all the different battery, all this stuff. We actually take the deep fried Reese's, we actually put it in a flour tortilla and press it like a pie. So it actually becomes
Oh.
It's almost like an empanada.
And we serve it with ice cream and chocolate sauce.
Oh.
And then we dust sugar.
Oh, that's not what I was seeing in my head at all.
Most people don't, and then when they bite it, they go. So I tell you,
it's not real greasy. It's just lovely.
So one of the
This is not the batter.
The first year that we did it, so our team didn't let us. Well, they let us know. So this guy came by and had one, and he thought it was phenomenal. His name was Chris Brown. He went nuts over it. Chris Brown, just like
go crazy,
go great, like the real Chris Brown.
Like the real Chris Brown?
Like the real Chris Brown. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, Chris, that's nice. Chris Brown?
Yeah, the real Chris Brown. And then Buddy came by. Buddy from the Cake Boss. He came by the next day.
He tweeted that it was his favorite thing at the fair that year.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were new. It was a new item. It wasn't in the competition because they wouldn't let us enter it because Brent had already won a TV show with it. So we just sold it. But it's one of those things that because people like it and they've gotten used to it and now they look forward to it. That's why we now sell. Like the first year we sold maybe 5,000. Yeah. Now we sell around 20,000.
20,000. Yeah. That is amazing. You know, we only have like 10,000 teachers in all of Dallas ISD. Nice. So maybe every single teacher is coming and buying two.
Dude, there it is.
Yes. Maybe that's it. That is a lot of empanadas. That is a lot. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me have one more. Yes. See, they did want to know if any famous singers have ever come to your restaurant, but there we go. We just heard Chris Brown at the fair.
Erykah Badu has eaten it with us at the fair.
Who did you say?
Erykah Badu.
And here too. Yeah.
Oh, Erykah Badu. I'm sorry. I thought you said Tupac, and I was like, y'all are pranking me.
Oh no.
Don't think so.
Pac hasn't shown up.
Yeah. Hey, if he does, we'll let you know.
If he does, please take a picture. We all want to know. Yes, that's going to be a confirmation. Yes. Yeah. All right. So I love this question. Do y'all ever fight because your brothers at work together?
That's funny. We don't. No.
So here's the story. I'm a lot older. So as a result, we didn't have a rivalry growing up. He looked up to me, and then as I've gotten older, I looked up to him. No, it's true. So now
it wasn't a rivalry because he beat me up. It was like, let's fight. Let's not fight anymore.
There's no fight.
Yeah.
I just want, now that we're the same size, I'm not gonna fight him. He's stronger than I am. But no, we don't always agree.
Right.
But we have a common goal. We want to be successful. And we want the other to be at their best. So we work together. And so even when we disagree, it's a matter of not about it's not an ego thing. It's about what's best for the company or what's best for the business. What's the smartest decision? And once we make our cases, we'll go with what makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, I think that's such a great lesson to learn. In every aspect of our lives, right? Like you can have that in your classrooms. Like you may not agree with the book that your teacher has chosen to study. You may not agree with what your partners in your group project want to do, but you can have like respect for one another and move forward and create an excellent product, right?
Because at the end of the day, it's if it's a school project or if it's a business project, if it's a state fair, food project, whatever it is, you win when you have success. You get the good grade or we sell a lot of product. That's what we want. It's not about who came up with it or who was right or who was wrong, because there's going to be times where we're both right. There's going to be times where we're both wrong. And the benefit is if you don't always agree on everything, you have a better chance of getting to the right answer or the right solution. So.
Yeah. And that is how we can link this back to Juneteenth. Like that was a win for our whole country.
Absolutely.
And we can move forward with respect for one another so that we can come up with a better plan, because things aren't working out for everyone still. There are still inequities in our country, but we need to move forward with respect and find a better solution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited to see you guys at the State Fair this year. I'm so excited just to go to the State Fair.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah, you're going to have 150,000 Dallas ISD students coming by looking for Michelle Obama, maybe Tupac.
Maybe Tupac. Maybe
You heard it. You heard it here first, y'all. Yes. You might see here there. Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And students, we have another webinar tomorrow that I am going to show you right here. We have Latara Edmond. She is the owner of Good Hair Day Salon. Don't we all want a good hair day? Latara Edmond knows about Good Hair Days, and she's going to talk to us about the history of Black hairstyles in the United States and how like little secrets of where some of our hairstyles that we've been wearing this whole time, where they came from. And she is going to talk to us about the Crown Act that you may have heard a little bit about. And you remember the Blue Bonnet, was it last year, Crown, about the barbershop? Well, there is legislation called the Crown Act, and it's about our hair. So we are excited about that. That's tomorrow. But thank you so much, Juan and Brent Reaves, for coming today. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody give a round of applause inside your classrooms. We can't hear you, but we're feeling your spirit. We are.
Wow, that's great. Thanks.
Yes, and especially, can you hold up your award one more time? Your Barbie Grammy Oscar? Yes.
Barbie.
Your Barbie Grammy Oscar. There we go, you guys. Look at this. In the presence of winners.
Wow.
Yes.
And a deep fried master.
And
that's right. That's right. Amazing. Yes. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hey, guys, y'all take care.